Welcome to channel Toxicology on board. Question number 5. We'll be learning in this video about trichothecene and toxins. There was previously one question, one of few questions on trichothecene toxins in toxicology board certified exams. Let's see what the question was. Trichothecene toxins such as T2 are produced by a species of the. In this question we need to identify this particular toxin, trichothecene toxins, which is commonly known as T2, produced by which species? Okay, let's see what was option A. This is a typical structure of a trichothecene. Here you can see main important the structural motif was epoxide ring. You can see three-membered ring with oxygen. These are the things which will generate reactive oxygen. These are highly reactive structural motif of any chemical structure. Let's see more about this in. Let's first understand the options. Option A is fungi, fusarium. Option B is bacterium, clostridium. Option C is virus, trichothermus. Option D is dinoflagellate, tricornus. Option E is algae, laurentia. You can see almost fungi, bacteria, virus, dinoflagellate as well as algae are given in this particular options. The right answer is option A, fungi, fusarium. So trichothecene toxins are produced by species fungi, fusarium. Let's learn something more about fungi, fusarium in this through this question. The trichothecenes are a large family of chemically related mycotoxins. So fungal toxins, also known as mycotoxins. These trichothecenes are produced by various species of fusarium, right? Mycothecium, Trichoderma, Podostroma, Trichothecium, right? Cephalosporium, Verticimonosporium, and Stachybotrys. Okay, we'll learn few more details about this type of all poisons so that whenever there is a next question based on these fungal or mycotoxins, we will be able to identify these species also. Because let's not restrict ourselves only to these questions. Any topic with related to mycotoxin and fungal toxins, we should be able to identify the right answer in our question, in our exam. Chemically, trichothecenes are a class of sesquiterpenes. So this particular structure is called sesquiterpenes because it is a 16-membered structure. So that you will understand about the nomenclature if you are a chemistry person. The structural features which are responsible for this biological activity of trichothecenes are 12-13 epoxy ring, as we discussed in the beginning of the video. This is 12-13 epoxy ring. The presence of hydroxyl acetyl group, OH group or acetyl group CH3, whatever R2 these groups are there at appropriate positions in the trichothecene nucleus. This is a typical trichothecene nucleus, and the structure and the position of the side chain. Always in a chemical structure, its position, its side chains are also responsible for causing that particular toxic activity. They are produced on many different grains, so wheat, oats, maize by various Fusarium species, including Fusarium graminearium, Fusarium sporotrichoides, Fusarium poe, and Fusarium equisetum. I'll tell you, remember there will be some questions with respect to fungal poisonous on maize or corn. Okay, there will be some questions in the exam, board certified exam, about fusarium graminearium, and some questions will be on fusarium equisetum. Today we might not discuss in this video about other types of poisonings or toxins which are released from this particular fusarium species, but I am sure that in previous toxicology exams there were some questions on these toxins produced by these fungal fungus species. So keep tuned with my channel so that you will learn about these questions also in upcoming videos. So this is a typical fusarium species. See, as I was saying, no, it is either coming from wheat, oats, or maize. Okay, let's learn. Let's move. Some molds that produce trichothecene mycotoxins, such as Trachybotrytis catarum, can grow in damp indoor environments. So you can see whenever we are storing grains and maize in large amounts in the storage or in the warehouses, there is a possibility that there will be some kind of these type of molds to be grown on these grains, which will release these toxins, and which in turn might be consumed by human beings, and it will cause toxic symptoms. It has been found that macrocyclic trichothecenes, which are produced by Strachybotrytis catarum, can become airborne. So they are not only on the surface of this maize, corn, or wheat, but also they become airborne and thus contribute to health problems in humans. So those workers who are working in these warehouses where these grains are stored in large amounts, they might get exposed through lungs also, airborne, right? These spores might enter into air, and these spores might be inhaled by these workers in these warehouses because they are working daily. There is a cumulative poisoning, repeated exposure is there, right? A poisonous mushroom native to Japan and China, Podostroma cornudae, contains six trichothecenes, including satratoxin H, roridin E, and verucarin. So some questions are there on this particular poisoning also. Okay, in the board exam. The trichothecene mycotoxins are toxic to humans, other mammals, birds, fish, variety of invertebrates, plants, and eukaryotic cells. So you can understand that not only humans who are consuming this, also the other mammals. Like for example, some rodents are there in the warehouse, or some cats or some kind of domestic animals are there, or some birds who are feeding on this grain. Okay, fish who are able to have a chance of consuming this contaminated mold contaminated grains, they will also, their health also will get affected, right? Next, upon consumption, this toxin inhibits ribosomal protein. So we have 50s and 30s ribosomal proteins, DNA and RNA synthesis. So your genetic material, its synthesis get inhibited by these mycotoxins, mitochondrial function, and cell division. So overall it is disrupting your cell cycle, right? While simultaneously activating a cellular stress response named ribotoxic stress response. So this is a typical, which is ribotoxic stress response is associated with fungal or mycotoxins or trichothecene mycotoxins. Cellular stress response, as I said, in the sesquiterpene structure, you have a epoxide ring. So that will is a highly reactive molecule which will be able to react with this ribosomal or DNA structures, adenine, guanine. So there will be stress will be released. ROS or RNS will be generated, which will cause oxidative stress. Trichothecenes differ from most other potential weapon toxins since they can act through skin. So you have to understand they are not only acting through oral route, they're acting through inhalation route, they're also acting through skin, through dermal route, because they're able to penetrate to the skin layers, which is attributed to their amphipathic and lipophilic characteristics. So one has to understand that many a times when you look at a toxin, it will be either lipophilic character or or it will be hydrophilic character, but it will not have both the characteristics. So this is a typical property of this trichothecene mycotoxins, where it is having amphipathic nature as well as lipophilic characteristics. How these two type of this physicochemical properties are going to influence the toxicity of this particular toxin? Let's see. The small amphipathic nature of trichothecenes allow them to easily cross cell membrane. So we have a phospholipid bilayer, each cell layer, okay, and interact with different organelles. What are those organelles? Mitochondria, endoplasmic reticulum, and chloroplast. This is in the case of plants. and mitochondria, which is the powerhouse of the cell. So here also you've seen it is disrupting mitochondrial function because it is able to cross the cell membranes. It is able to reach the cell organelles, particularly mitochondria. Okay, so mitochondrial functions are disrupted by this toxin because this is the powerhouse which is creating ATP. If the cell is deficient of able to synthesize energy, the cell will be deprived of energy and it will undergo oxidative stress, or it might lead to death of that particular cell. The lipophilic nature of trichothecenes allow them to easily absorbed through skin, pulmonary mucosa, and gut. You have to understand here you have seen that because of its lipophilic nature, able to cross the phospholipid bilayer, able to cross the dermal layer, able to cross the lung, various cell layers, linings of the lung, able to reach the pulmonary lung mucosa and also stomach, gut. Direct dermal application or oral ingestion of trichothecene causes rapid irritation of the skin and intestinal mucosa. Certain times irritation is also a major adverse effects with respect to exposure to a certain chemical. This is a typical structure of a trichothecene mycotoxin under microscope. Hope you were able to learn through this video about trichothecenes, some of the fungal species which are responsible for releasing out these trichothecene toxins. I think you were able to come across some of the fungal species also which are responsible for releasing these toxins, molds and grains. How these grains contaminated with these fungal toxins will cause poisoning in human beings as well as cattle and the domestic animals. Thank you. For any questions, please comment, like, subscribe, and follow my YouTube channel, Toxicology on Board. All the best for your exam.